2011, 52.8 crore people in the country spoke Hindi as their first language. That's mile ahead of any other Indian language. 9.7 crore Bengali speakers as their first language, 8.3 crore speak Marathi, 8.1 speak Telugu, while 6.9 call Tamil Nadu, Tamilian as their first language. 4.4 speak Kannada as their first language, and only 2.6 lakh across the country consider English as their first language. So what is this hullabaloo all about? The numbers are there for everyone to see. If the debate is about link language, then this is what the numbers state, and this is again based on the 2011 census. Of the total population in India, 43.63% speak in Hindi. They can speak in Hindi, and if you add numbers to this where people may not be able to read or write in Hindi but they can understand conversational Hindi, this percentage will go up much higher, while only 10.6 can converse in English. So why is it that Hindi is not considered a link language but English is? Why is it that some parties don't have a problem with English being taught even over and above local language but have a problem with Hindi alone? Now, over the years, there has been an increase in the population of Hindi speakers from 36.99% in 1971 to 38.74 in 1981. By 1991, the number stood at 39.29, over 40% by 2001, and even further by 2011. Chances are this percentage has increased since then because these numbers are based on the 2011 census. So if the charge is, mind you, that Hindi is being imposed now, if the political charge is that it is being done since 2014, how did Hindi language grow so much even earlier? With Naidu's pitch for unity on Hindi, or at least will considering Hindi as a language that everybody can speak, is this entire debate a war on language artificial? That's our big debate coming up.
Even Suragaru had a very good equation. A scholar fluent in 17 languages. Now we are all talking. Why should you learn Hindi? Not only he learned Hindi, he has learned 17 languages.
भाषा पे अगर बीजेपी भेदभाव कर चुनाव को मद्देनजर रखकर इस तरह का माहौल बनाएंगे तो अब कोई हजम नहीं करेंगे.
पाठशाला काय को जरूरत है? मदरसा में मराठी चालू करो ना, सबसे आसान है. अलग पाठशाला करने की जरूरत ही नहीं है. महाराष्ट्र में बहुत मदरसा है, वहाँ उर्दू के बजाय आप मराठी शुरू करो ना उधर.
Let's go across to our guest joining us, Deepak Reddy, spokesperson of the TDP. I'm also joined by Pulla Rao, who's political analyst, hails from Tamil Nadu. But let me begin with Mr. Reddy first. A lot of charges are coming across for, leaders like Chandrababu, Naidu, even Lara Lokesh, who are not minding Hindi to be taught, to be learned by non-Hindi speakers in India. And you would be aware that the natural allegation is that, you are now BJP's alliance partner, so you are bowing down to what the BJP wants you to do. How would you respond to that?
Let me be very clear that Andhra Pradesh was the first state in India which was formed on the basis of linguistic lines. So the pride what we have for our language is probably equal to most people in different parts of the country. Chandrababu Naidu ji has made it absolutely clear that language is only a communication tool, and we should not use it for political benefit or to use as a divisive tactics. But if you see one state in the south, one party has been successful milking the language cow for too long. And in another state in India, the political party, which is probably going into oblivion, has realized that why don't we make use of this same trick. So it is nothing but a trick used by certain politically unemployed people to retain power. I think this is pretty much what it is.
No, but
So
you know,
we
you
are
say that.
absolutely
I understand what you're
proud.
saying, Mr. Reddy. I understand what you're saying, but you know, you could also argue, one could also argue that when these agitations are held on the issue of linguistic pride or language, it actually gets a lot of local support. So why wouldn't political parties do it?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. So this other party, which is now trying to milk this, is purely to make themselves relevant or to keep themselves afloat in politics. But the fact of the matter is, you have actually put the figures out. There's only 2 point odd percent who claim English to be their primary language. And more than 50%, about 40% of the people are speaking in Hindi. So why don't, what is wrong in learning an additional language is what our chief minister has been saying. So if our people from South go to the North, they can get better job opportunities. They can better communicate with our brothers from the North. So this is the type of approach one should have. Apart from this, in our universities in Andhra Pradesh, now we are coming up with a rule where 10 international languages are also going to be taught to our students. So it's up to them. So this will help them get better job opportunities abroad. So at heart, we are Telugu. Nationally, we are okay with we accept Hindi, and internationally, English is going to be another language which would be of communication. And this is an approach what one should take, and not weaponize this and use it for their political means and divide the people of India. This is a strong line what the Telugu Party has taken, and Chandrababu Naidu ji is very clear on this.
You don't fear any backlash in Andhra Pradesh because of this line?
That's exactly. I think the people of the country should draw a parallel. We were the state, we were formed on basis of language, and now we are progressive in our thought. Language is only a communication tool, not to be used for cheap politics and divisive politics.
Cheap politics. Sajid Supariwala is leader of the Uddhav Sena, the UBT faction, and I'm guessing Deepak Reddy's charge that a party that is going out of vogue or is not in political consciousness is trying to come back is for the UBT and the MNS. He has left it unsaid, but I'll take that to Sajid Supariwala in just a bit. Pula Rao, you know, Mr. Naidu has talked about Narasimha Rao. Now, he learnt Hindi, he spoke in Hindi, he was the Prime Minister of our country, he spoke in many other languages or learnt many other languages, as Mr. Naidu pointed out. None of it kind of eroded his stature as an icon of Andhra Pradesh, right? So where is this artificial rivalry or war coming from? Ultimately, it seems to be about political ideologies, not so much about what is better for the public on the ground.
I'm very thankful to you, Shivani ji, that you are giving me the opportunity to speak on this matter, because it was.
Sajid ji, I'll come to you. This is for Pula Rao. I'll come to you. Sajid ji, I'll come to you.
Okay. You know, first let me make a statement. I know Mr. Deepak very well. I respect him. I have to tread very carefully. If I criticize Chandrababu Naidu, he may take it a bit. So let me tell you one thing. You know, no doubt Narasimha Rao knew 17 languages or 20 languages. He's a linguist. And I can ask, language, this is an evolution. You know, I want to tell you, you have an official language, you don't have an official language. It's an evolution. I agree. Thanks to Hindi cinema, thanks to mobility in this country, thanks to the media, Hindi is much more prevalent. Say, when I was studying in Madras, there was not a Hindi movie shown in a cinema hall. Now it's everywhere. TV is there. It takes time if you want. But the thought of imposition affects some people. You know, maybe in Maharashtra, maybe in Andhra, maybe somewhere else. Or Bengal for that matter. You have to tread very cautiously. Let things take their own turn. Let them come slowly. Let them evolve. What's the hurry? What's
But there
the
is no hurry.
saying, no,
there isn't any.
I'll
tell you why. Because I ran those numbers since, you know,
let
since
me
post-independence.
one more
Hindi
minute.
speaking has been on the rise. And can I also point out, I'll come to you. Can I also point out, we are running what the Article 351 of the Constitution says. It actually gives a directive to the union government to promote Hindi across the country.
Okay, I agree. There is also a wonderful directive principle which says you should enforce provision. I love Mr. Deepak Reddy if he'll announce provision in Andhra Pradesh. They won't. You can't be selective. Now take Maharashtra. I would say a friend there may have a different view. Unnecessarily. I don't know why. Why they did it. And then I had to withdraw. When you withdraw like that, you set it back 25 years. They will stay, they push that policy forward. and I went ahead, then I had to withdraw.
No,
It's
but
not
this
really
charge
really
of
backward.
imposition, you make a very good point. If they stood by it, by
do
the
it voluntarily.
NEP, why did they roll back in Maharashtra? But this charge of imposition, Pularao, don't you think it's an unfair charge? This is more about BJP versus anti-BJP politics.
If I feel,
because
now, for
there is
example,
the NEP in no way supersedes the local
the
language
charge-
by Hindi.
the charge of imposition, the charge of ill treatment is whoever the bearer is. If I feel I am treated well by you, I'll be happy even if you're not treating me well. You have to be sensitive in a country of this size where we have so many problems. Religion, caste, everything is now.
So what is the
cauldron.
insult? What is the insult
cauldron.
exactly?
The caste was going on, the religious was going on. People are inciting it
Yeah.
always. And therefore, is this necessary? What I'm saying is this necessary? Give me an
But
example
somebody
of
has to
Maharashtra.
explain what is the imposition here. If Hindi naturally has
Imposition
grown
is
so much since
you
independence as the
no,
spoken
for
language or the
example-
first language, where is
for
the imposition?
example, For example, I am not authorized to speak on behalf of any party, but in Tamil Nadu, where I'm familiar studying, this issue has been going on from 1920, various issues. Why should, when they say we don't want it, leave it aside, it will come on its own. You can't stop water coming downstream. You can't stop rain. It will come on its own. Why say, no, now you do it, you're unpatriotic? Why?
Okay.
Why don't you relax?
I also have
You should
Ayush
relax.
Nambiar, who's a political analyst, joining us on the show. Ayush, how do you respond to these allegations that, there is this hurry with which the BJP, since it has come to power in 2014, wants to, suddenly make everybody a Hindi speaker in the country? If it happens naturally, it happens naturally. And I have the numbers to show that it has been increasing. More people would understand Hindi and be able to converse in Hindi, even if they can't read and write Hindi. So what is the need to make this, Hindi as the second default language in every state?
Shivani ji, let me first tell you, I am born to a Malayali father whose my mother is a Punjabi. I am born and brought up in Delhi. I speak 6 languages, out of which 3 I have learnt out of personal will. Okay.
What about Hindi? Did you learn that out of personal will?
I learned Hindi actually much after my school, and I must tell you that I'm a good Hindi speaker now.
Okay.
But very, very candidly, I should ask, you have a South Indian Prime Minister who has spoken 17 languages, and Naidu has come out and said that, wow, that is the scholar, that is a great scholar. That is all. What is the controversy about? I don't get it. And
No, the controversy is about under the garb of NEP. That's the allegation. Under the garb of NEP, which provides for a 3-language formula, nobody can actually fault the policy because in letter, it doesn't really have anything objectionable, but it's the spirit that has been talked about.
No. So 3 languages, any 3 languages, where is it written that Hindi is to be promoted? I think because I have read the NEP and I would recommend all 3 other panelists and even our friends in the media to go through the NEP by line. Where is Hindi as a word written? You can have any 3 languages. Maharashtra states that the first language is Marathi. Maharashtra states that the second language somebody wants is English, somebody wants is Hindi. That is up to you. That is up to the state.
No,
that
but
is
why
the
did the
federal right.
Maharashtra state take back its directive to have Hindi as the second language? If they believed in it, if they didn't think this was going to be politically problematic, they wouldn't have taken it back.
I think it's only politically problematic. I don't think there is any
That's all
sort
that
of an
matters
issue.
to political parties, no.
I absolutely, and this is where the problem begins. Political parties need to start actually reading their own people, their own voters, their own, their own communities at large. Where today, sitting here in Delhi, I know that I have more friends who are going from Punjab and watching Tamil and Telugu cinema, and people sitting in Tamil Nadu and Kerala going and watching Hindi cinema. There is so much synergy that is happening between languages, and I love it. I love the globalization that is happening within this country. You have 22 official languages. Please enjoy those languages.
Okay.
Why is
No,
there a
but I think
controversy at all?
the central government is also, not very clear whether it wants Hindi to be the official language, a national language or not. If you want it, then say it clearly. Yes, the constitution speaks of Hindi supremacy or primacy, if I can use that word. But then if you want it, then say it clearly. Let that be debated. Let me go across to Sajid Supariwala, who's also joining us. Mr. Deepak Reddy mentioned the fact that whenever a political party, particularly in a state like Maharashtra, wants to garner political eyeballs, you do exactly what UBT and MNS are doing today. You don't want Hindi imposition, quote unquote, but you will go and beat Hindi speakers in your state. Do you understand the duplicity of your politics?
Shivani ji, this is not the case. Let me explain to you very nicely. Innumerable times people have tried to explain, but today I think I've got this panel which is very mature enough to understand what I'm trying to say. Just please focus, all of you panelists and Shivani ji also. Whatever has happened earlier in the history of Maharashtra, always Marathi has been the language of the state. All the state languages has to be respected. It cannot be that, see, if anybody was against any other language, all the language are to be respected. They are all the way a communication for the human race. Now, Hindi, the Indian film industry has survived tremendously. It is the biggest industry in India, the Bollywood. Now, today, if we calculate, if there was a problem in Maharashtra for Hindi, the Hindi film industry wouldn't have survived so much. The superstar Amitabh Bachchan, he is a Hindi speaking person. He is from UP and still his Marathi is so good. So, if you are learning the language of the state, it will help you in many other fields as well.
No,
It's
but
not
if
a
Hindi
compulsion
can't be
to learn
imposed,
Marathi.
one second, if Hindi can't be imposed on people who
coming.
belong to
I'm coming to that.
from Maharashtra, why should you impose? Your party's
Shivani ji.
position is that you will beat people into submission.
Shivani ji.
That if they're in
me-
Maharashtra's boundaries, they will have to speak Marathi. How is that fair?
Shivani ji, give me 1 minute uninterrupted. I'll forget my point, what I'm trying to portray.
Okay, go ahead.
Now see what has happened. What has happened is, we have always told that we are not imposing Marathi. If anyone doesn't know Marathi, just politely say that, brother, I don't know Marathi. I'll try to learn. Let me explain to you my language.
Why should they say Why should they say this?
Insult to 1 minute. Insult to Marathi will not be tolerated.
How
anywhere.
is it insult if somebody doesn't
I'll
speak
tell you the
Marathi?
reason. I'll tell you the reason. Now today, if I come to your shop and I do not know the Hindi so well, if I am a Marathi speaking rural guy, I'll come to your shop and say that I मला हे पाहिजे. तर तुम्ही काय बोलणार? चला मराठी.
I will try to understand you. I will try to still serve you with some respect and dignity. I will not slap you.
Ma'am, I'm coming to it. The snap was instigated. The slap was instigated by the shopkeeper. If you go to the details, you will come to know. Today we are showing one video. What has been in the video before? I'm not saying the law. I'm not saying take the law in your hands. But at least be respectful to a language. Why to push her? I am a Hindi speaking person, but I speak Marathi as well. If I don't know, I will politely say that, brother, I don't know Marathi. Please speak to me in Hindi or English. So it is not.
So
imposed.
local
It's not
shopkeeper
imposed.
is thrashed because he said all languages should be
Thrashing
spoken
is
or
not allowed.
are spoken
Thrashing
in
is not-
Maharashtra.
We do
Auto
not
driver
believe in
is
that.
thrashed in Palghar because he didn't want to speak in Marathi. Sweet shop owner is assaulted in Meera Road. Security guard from Bihar is beaten in Powai. Supermarket employee is slapped in Warsaw. You're trying to
make
tell me that
everything
they're
up.
all insulting Marathi. That's why you're doing it. Your
Don't
party
make it a language issue.
Sir,
It could
the
have been some
MNS
other issue
leader's
which has
stated
been made
position
into a
is,
language
Raj
issue.
Thakkre's stated position is that beat them into submission, just don't take videos.
Ma'am, let me explain. There is a full video to be seen. Mr. Raj Thakkre had also said one more thing. If you had seen that video, I was there present at the venue. He said that every language to be respected, don't take law in your hands. But if somebody is trying to impose something on you, if doing gundagardi on you,
You
reply.
think the ordinary citizen was trying to impose something
We
on
are
the
not
gundas
talking
of
about that.
MNS
We are
and
not talking
UBT?
about
Come
ordinary
on,
citizens.
come
We are
on.
talking about some people who had instigated the fact.
No.
I am not
Nobody,
an MNS, but
no,
I
you are not
stand by my
children.
statement.
I'm sorry,
I am
you
a
are not
citizen, a
children
UBT
who
guy.
got
I stand
instigated
by my
because
statement.
somebody did not speak in Marathi. You take, you slap these ordinary people, but you
No.
obviously, as you mentioned, will not say anything against one superstar of Bollywood.
No,
Not
no, no.
one superstar
What?
of Bollywood.
Not
And your
only Amitabh
party,
Bachchan,
your
he also
party
speaks
also,
Marathi.
your party also faces the charge that you
The
only attack
superstar
Hindi
also
speakers.
speaks
You will
Marathi.
not attack
Then we
Urdu
need to
speakers
be.
in Maharashtra.
If
Do you go
don't
and
know
slap
Marathi,
Urdu
how will you
speakers?
work? How will you learn in
Mr.
Marathi?
Supariwala,
How will you
Mr. Supariwala, is there any Urdu speaker that your party has thrashed? Only Hindi speakers are easy targets, no?
Today, I'll tell you one more beautiful thing. Good, you asked me a question of this kind. We, in the Urdu-speaking areas also, we have started coaching classes of Marathi because it's the state language. In Mohammed Ali Road, Nal Bazar, in Bindi Bazar.
उनके लिए स्कूल खोलेंगे और हिंदी स्पीकर्स के लिए थप्पड़ मारेंगे.
No, we are trying to teach Marathi. It's good, no?
I don't understand this. Both of these political lines cannot exist. Mr. Reddy wants to come in. Both of these political lines cannot exist. That we will not have imposition of any language, but my mother tongue is supreme for me. That also holds true if a Bihari is going to Maharashtra. His mother tongue is supreme for him or her. He or she can't be beaten in Maharashtra just because he is not speaking in Marathi. This is not done.
In other states, they don't speak the state language.
No, they don't.
Tamil Nadu, who speaks
Most
Tamil
Hindi
Nadu?
speakers go speak puta Hindi in other states, or they learn as they pick up.
They don't
I'm
reply
sure
also
in
to you.
Maharashtra
When you
also
speak in
they
Hindi
learn
in Tamil
Marathi
Nadu,
very
Chennai,
easily.
you go to Chennai
But
and
you
speak Hindi.
deliberately go to people, you pick up on 1-2 sentences of Hindi they speak and try to create a brouhaha over it. This is
not
all
the case.
tamasha. I'm sorry
The
to say, it
fact
is
that
drama.
still verified.
Mr.
That
Reddy
is
wants to
exactly
come
what
in.
I would like to also ask.
Mr. Reddy.
That's exactly what I would like to ask. The gentleman just said that the person has instigated them. That's why they kind of bet him up. So if that is to be taken seriously, then if Maharashtrians are beaten up in 27 other states with the same, saying that they have instigated us by beating a non-Hindi speaker,
why
is
will
that
a
justified?
person-
And another question
Why
I would
will a
like to
person
ask you
instigate a
is,
person?
are you
There could have been
going
some
to
other enmity
insist
also.
that
That will
Marathi
not
should
be
be
the only
spoken
case.
in all
That
the
will not be the only
madrasas
case.
of Maharashtra, and
Why
in the
will-
morning
why will it
azan
happen?
in all masjids should
All
should
Maharashtrians
Marathi be
are
spoken? Are
properly
you going to
respecting the other
insist
languages
that?
when they go to their
And
states.
another thing, I would like
But in
to
Maharashtra,
expose the
Marathi is to be
superficialness
respected.
of the politicians of Maharashtra. You can take every senior politician and their children have
Mr.
gone to
Reddy,
English medium
what you're
schools
speaking
and
is
not to
definitely
Marathi
not
schools.
not.
I mean,
This
they have
is
gone to
true.
English
This
medium
is
schools and
true.
not
I'm
to
sorry to
Marathi
say,
schools.
this is why this
Don't
is
pretend to be
superficial.
champions of Marathi.
This is why it's superficial of
This is
all
not
language
relevant.
warriors, if I may say so. All of their, children, they themselves happily speak Hindi in interviews, in otherwise. Hindi film industry is the burgeoning industry. On the other side, or English as their prime language, but for some reason, I don't understand. Pullarao, this is also what the DMK stand is. I know you don't speak for them, but I don't understand. They say English is okay as the link language, even if only 10% understand English, but we will not accept Hindi, which is spoken and understood by nearly 50% of the public.
Yeah, but you see, there's one big mistake, misnomer, whatever. Are there jobs available in Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh?
Delhi?
There are no jobs available.
Delhi is Hindi
There are no
speaking.
jobs
What about
available.
Delhi?
If today...
What about
Delhi is a small
Haryana?
state, 2 crore people. Haryana is a small state. Let
So?
me tell you, in the states of the south, there are, I would imagine, 1 crore to 2 crore people from Hindi states are working happily. Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, and even Maharashtra. Crores are working. There is no jobs. You see, I don't deny we should have a national language. It takes time. It will evolve. It will evolve. As I just asked a question, nobody could answer me. Why did Maharashtra government withdraw it? Who asked them to introduce it? Who asked you to force your way in and then get out? You want to have a language made popular. You do it slowly. You do it intelligently. Take Tamil Nadu, for example. The BJP got no seats. They didn't get even an MP. They're growing, I agree. But some leaders start issuing statements there to get national attention and embarrass the party.
No, but I'm going to the root of the issue.
Why did they remove?
You're
No,
absolutely right about the politics
they
of the
make
issue
noise
is concerned.
where
But
no
Mr. Rao,
noise should be made.
Mr. Rao,
No
I'm
noise
nearly
should be
out of
made.
time. I have to give all of
You
our
need
other
it.
guests one more. But I want to ask you, the issue here is politics. That is what I am saying. Don't you agree with that? The issue is not so much that people have...
everything,
Once again, people on ground don't seem to have any animosity against any language speaker. This is an artificial divide that has been created for political brownie points.
Every single thing is politics. I'm sorry to say human relationships are based on politics. Human relationships, there's no time to go into it. All human relationships. Politics is one of the languages of interaction amongst humans. It's politics everywhere. Office politics, social politics. So that is aside from the point. You have to be careful if you're a national politician.
What you say? Yes, Mr. Nambiar, the issue is that on ground, this animosity doesn't exist. So why is this regressive politics being played, superficially, where somehow we are supposed to hate the speakers of another language?
Funny how the governments everywhere across the world are promoting technology, are promoting artificial intelligence. Today you're in a world where I don't even need a sort of an application or a paid subscription. I can simply put it online and get to know what somebody is talking about. Language and its utmost, why is language there? Language is there so that one can communicate with the other. We are social beings. I am sorry, but this divide is absolutely illogical. It is not something that drives from logic. Politics, yes, is the way that one communicates. I am absolutely with our friend here. But then again you need to have some sort of sense. You're talking about absolutely illogical things. The NEP does not talk about any sort of language imposition.
Okay.
The government is trying to create an inclusive society. When I am going to, let's say, Tamil Nadu, even if I don't know Tamil, I am able to communicate with my Tamil friends. If I'm going to Maharashtra, I'm going to Bombay, I'm going to Pune, I'm going to Nagpur, I'm able to speak to my friends.
Okay, okay.
If I'm going to West Bengal, I'm able to speak without knowing Bengali.
It seems like the linguistic, criteria on which states were made in India, it's that politics is being extended just because there's nothing else, and that so-called for pride is being, driven beyond its utility. I can understand boundaries being cast on the basis of language. There's a governance issue involved here, but beyond that, language shouldn't be an issue where in a country where so many are spoken. But Mr. Reddy, very quickly, I have 30 seconds. Don't you think the government also should be clear? You're part of the NDA. The NDA also should be clear whether you want Hindi as the national language or the linked language. The NDA is also very, is very uncomfortable with keeping its stand very clear, because they know that, either their ally partners or they themselves will face backlash in some of these southern states.
The government is very clear. The NDA alliance partners are very clear. The national education policy is very clear. What's not clear is the deviant mentality of members of the Indie ecosystem, trying to deviate and trying to peddle misinformation to the people for their own political survival or existence. They say about that Hindi is trying to be pushed. Nowhere in the education policy, again, I'm repeating it, it says that Hindi is compulsory. It says any languages. So if somebody in Maharashtra has a problem to learn Hindi, you learn Telugu. Who's stopping you? So why do you peddle wrong information is what we are trying to, question them straightforward. So you can have your mother tongue in your own state, use something, a language like Hindi, which can bind us all in the nation, and then you can have one other international language. This makes sense. And that is exactly what Chandrababu Naidu ji is saying. There is nothing wrong in learning one additional language. You can have better opportunities, job opportunities across the country. And if you learn an international language, better opportunities abroad also. So this is exactly the way one should look at it, and not come out with divisive politics to divide the nation for their own ulterior motive.
Okay, I've run out of time. I do thank all of our guests for joining us. Moving on, the detention of Bengali-speaking migrant labourers in BJP-ruled states and their alleged profiling as suspected Bangladeshis has ignited a fresh political firestorm in West Bengal. The ruling TMC has reignited its Bengali identity pitch like the 2021 assembly polls. And remember, Bengal is slated for elections next year. Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee led a protest march in Kolkata today. The protest is in response to what the TMC says is continued harassment of Bengali-speaking migrant workers in BJP-ruled states especially. She slammed the BJP, alleging that they are trying to manipulate the voter list in Bengal ahead of polls as well. That's a separate battle going on the issue of illegals. Meanwhile, BJP has hit back saying that Mamata Banerjee is only trying to protect quote-unquote Rohingyas. So while Mamata Banerjee led a protest march in Kolkata over the charge that Bengali speakers are particularly being targeted and their identity is being questioned, their nationality is being questioned, the leader of opposition in the state, Suvendu Adhikari, marched to the Election Commission office in Medinipur instead, reiterating the charge that there are Rohingya voters in the election voter list, demanding that their names be deleted from it. The showdown in Bengal is intensifying, but here's why some believe that there may be merits in some of the charges that have been made by the TMC. Merely a week ago, Odisha police detained 400 plus migrant workers in Jharsuguda district on suspicion of being Bangladeshi nationals. The migrants were from various districts in West Bengal. Around 50 were later released, some after furnishing additional documentation. On July 1, Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma seemed to suggest, while he was conducting a deputation drive, that those who identified as Bengali speakers as their mother tongue in the 2011 census could be from Bangladesh. He later clarified that his comments are being distorted to make them appear anti-Bengali. Very same day, 6 migrant workers, including a minor, were deported by the Delhi administration. The workers had claimed that they were from West Bengal, not Bangladesh. Following this, the Calcutta High Court has asked the Delhi government to submit a report on the deportation. While the recent cases have raised alarm, and Mamata Banerjee is of course not leaving any stone unturned to make charges, political charges at the BJP, there is also a political relevance to these charges being made now. Remember, this has happened in the context of the Bihar special intensive revision being done, and there also the allegation is that several Bangladeshi illegal migrants could have entered those lists, but this is also ahead of the assembly elections next year in Bengal. So many see this as a strategic pushback against BJP's allegations of undocumented immigration from Bangladesh, an accusation that TMC has emboldened this for vote bank politics. Mamata's charges also re-invoke the potent Bengali pride narrative that somewhere feels softened because of the impact of BJP's Hindutva push in West Bengal. The TMC may also be aiming to portray BJP as anti-Bengali and weaken its national unity rhetoric. The TMC is trying to position itself as the protector of Bengali identity, and not just in Bengal, protector of Bengalis not just in Bengal but nationwide. Mamata's charges also seek to redirect the discourse of perceived injustices against Bengalis and disrupt the potential alliances possibly that BJP could look to make in Bengal ahead of the elections that are coming up. So with this Bengalis being targeted by BJP charge that is made, is there relevance to this charge or is there more behind this political rhetoric? That debate is coming up.
आप क्यों हमारा लोगों का ऊपर अत्याचार कर रहा है? बंगाली के ऊपर अत्याचार क्यों? हमारा 22 लाख अगर बाहर में है तो हमारा इधर में 1.5 करोड़ है. सोच लीजिए, हम इज्जत देते हैं और आप बेइज्जत करते हैं.
ममता बनर्जी सड़क में है रोहिंग्या मुसलमान को प्रोटेक्शन देने के लिए, और बीजेपी एमएलए लोग पूरा सड़क में मिছিল करके आया है. एक ही डिमांड है, कोई रोहिंग्या मुसलमान का नाम बंगाल का वोटर लिस्ट में नहीं रहेगा.
Joining us on the show, Dr. Shatarupa, spokesperson of BJP, and Mohammad Tausif Rahman is from the TMC, also with us. Mohammad, let me begin with you. Aren't you making too much of the few instances that I have also pointed out, that few instances have happened in, let's say, particularly states that are bordering Bengal, but also states that may have a lot of people who may have migrated from West Bengal? Aren't you making too much out of it to suggest that somehow all Bengalis are being targeted everywhere outside of West Bengal?
Good evening, Shivani, and good evening, Shatrubhaji. I understand, like people who doesn't have any emotion towards Bengal and doesn't understand the culture of Bengal and the language Bengalis will never understand the atyachar which is happening right now in India. I don't understand people speaking Hindi or Urdu. Are they from Pakistan? Is my Pradhan Mantri Narendra Modi is from Rohingya or Bangladesh? So we shall sit and defend Bangladesh and Rohingya and Bengal. Why shall we do that? We are only concerned about the Bengalis, and the Bengalis who are speaking Bengali, whether they are speaking in Punjab, Delhi, Maharashtra, or whatsoever. In the same way, if someone is speaking a Marathi in Bengali, it's their own right. He can speak Marathi in Bengal. We have no such issues. But why the Bengalis are getting targeted, Shivani? Just because it's
maybe
a very
because from Bangladesh there's been a lot of illegal immigration.
Shivani ji, you will only understand this pain when a Hindi bhashi will be attacked in Punjab or a Hindi bhashi is getting attacked in Marathi, then only you will understand.
No, but this is not happening on the issue of language.
Amader je kotha Shivani ji, apni bujben na. This is the way why I'm talking in Bengali. You will not understand because the Bengalis are being only seen as a vote bank. Because the Bengalis are not voting for BJP. So now the only target is to hit Bengalis in Bengal.
You're suggesting that all of this is happening purely because they are speaking a certain language, but that's not being fair to the issue. Even Mamata Banerjee has said that that language is not the issue. The issue is that Bengali speaking individuals who may claim they hail from West Bengal may be actually Bangladeshis who speak the same language, and you cannot deny that there is a problem of, mostly one-sided illegal migration from Bangladesh to Bengal and then to other states. Why don't you recognize that root issue?
No, Shivani, see, this is a very serious charge and it is a concern of nationalism as well. But if someone in Bengal is speaking Bengali, cannot be Bangladeshi. If someone is talking in a Bengali but a Bangladeshi accent, cannot be a Rohingya. So now if you wanted to target a Muslim just because he is wearing a topi, he cannot be a Bangladeshi. So who is controlling the BSF? Who is controlling the Ministry of Affairs? And everything is controlled by Amit Shah. We are not stopping. We are not abiding any law from the Amit Shah's government or from the Amit Shah's ministry. They have
You do
all the right.
oppose the BSF's, you do oppose the BSF's actions in Bengal.
No, Shivani, the Election Commission has a big responsibility to check the voter list. Are we stopping them? No. But the only point is...
I'm surprised you brought that in because Mamata Banerjee is trying to stop it. She just said today that we are not going to allow this in West Bengal.
We are not concerned about Bangladeshis. Again,
you are not concerned. Okay. Actually, that's strange because Mamata Banerjee is famous for once throwing papers onto the face of the speaker in Lok Sabha on the issue of illegal Bangladeshis in Bengal. But I'll come back to it. Tausif, I'll come back to you. Shatarupa, there seems to be the allegation that you're profiling Bengali-speaking individuals on no other suspicion than the fact that they're speaking Bengali. That's the problem here.
Shivani, allow me just 10 seconds extra because Tausif, in his urgency to support Trinamool and the issue that now suddenly they have raised, is trying to be a Bengali. I am born and brought up a Bengali, steeped in all possible Bengali literature, starting from Rabindranath right up to Bankim Chandra, including Sharat Chandra. So let us not confuse the fact about Bengalis. Having said this, Shivani, it is with great shame that I say that everywhere Bengalis all over India are treated with a lot of ridicule for the unfortunate political decisions that Bengalis have made. And right now, what the major concern is that their dialect. I mean, I'm sure you would know that there is almost 7 kinds of dialects of Bengali, most of which is from Bangladeshis. Now, this I think this was triggered off by a comment of the Assam Chief Minister Hemanta Da, and he has very categorically said that when somebody is filling up a form in the census, then if somebody writes the mother tongue in Bengali, mind you, he is talking as the Chief Minister of Assam, where the Assamese would write Ahomia as their first language. So this was probably just a discretionary thing, and he has of course clarified. Now, because this comment has come and there have been other issues where I believe there are some, I don't know whether what you're showing on screen, how much of that is true, but I'm sure it must have happened since you're
these incidents are very much true.
No, I'm not arguing that. All I'm saying is there is a perception that West Bengal has been freely and very unfairly. Tausif, I didn't say a word when you were talking nonsense. So please wait. Now,
I was not talking nonsense. I was giving you a statement, Chandrababu. How can you say that I was talking nonsense?
Okay, one second. I don't want it to descend into a one over each other. One second. Okay, Tausif, I'll come back to you. Shatarupa, will you please finish? Yes.
I will. Now, my point is that there is a perception outside Bengal that in West Bengal, it is very easy to get any kind of citizenship documents because you have public representatives, elected representatives, going up on stage and saying, okay, if you don't have your papers, the people who've come across the border of Bangladesh. So you can go to that shop and they will give you your...
In fact, that's the root of the issue. I remember you talked about Amit Shah, Tausif, talked about Amit Shah, the Home Minister, on one of News 18's events, had categorically said that they have found that majority of the fake Aadhaar cards are being provided from one district in West Bengal. So if there are these fast and loose, rules being followed in West Bengal, this isn't so much about Bengali speaking. You made this, comparison to Hindi speakers. The problem is, one, that there are no Hindi speakers illegally migrating into India. not the kind of problem that we are witnessing in West Bengal. And I'm sure you will appreciate in border districts of West Bengal, this has been seen as a major influence of demographic change.
Shivani, it's a very simple, straight agenda I want to bring in your knowledge. Whatever happened before 1971 and after 71, and if you want to target only Bengal, that yahan se bahut kuch ho raha hai, give me or show me one instant and one event where Mamata Banerjee is helping Bangladeshis on national television or openly, and she doesn't want to help Amit Shah dividing these policies. No, we are there with Amit Shah on these issues. Where are we saying that we don't want to help Amit Shah and his government and his ministry?
But Mamata Banerjee has raised a lot of objections on BSF. One second, you can't have it both ways. Tausif, Mamata Banerjee herself, I'm not even talking about other TMC leaders, she herself has objected to BSF activities in Bengal.
No, we never, no, we only said that whatever you want to do, if you want us to bring notice to yourself as well, just let us know. We only want to help you, nothing else.
Okay.
You have to understand the statement coming from Mamata Banerjee. You want land for BSF? Kindly contact the state government. You want help from the state government? Kindly.
But you didn't answer my question.
What you want to do. But
Tausif, you didn't answer my question. There are fake Aadhars being given willy-nilly in bulk in Bengal.
Shivani, please take actions. Who's stopping you? Please take action. But the
State
problem
government has no responsibility.
No.
How will you take
The only problem is because of this whole fake narrative. I'm not talking about fake Aadhaar card, but because of this whole fake narrative, why do you want to target the Bengalis staying outside Bengal?
Okay, fair enough.
I'll tell you,
Even
Shivani,
if
something.
illegal migration is an issue.
Our laborers work outside Bengal because of their skills, not because of their fun. Now that is why they have been called there, because of the skill. There are 22 lakh migrant workers from Bengal. BJP is anti-poor, anti-commoners. The poor who go to work outside have to struggle.
This is a fair
They would be
comment,
better off
because
here.
even
But
if illegal
outside,
migration is an
work and
issue
send
in
to
West
jail.
Bengal, polices of other state cannot just willy-nilly pick up people who are from Bengal, hail from Bengal, or are Bengali speaking, right? You can't be put to this test unless you have information that they are not Indian nationals.
No, firstly, Shivani, I want to correct Tausif. Again, he's gone on some random trip. Mamata Banerjee has on record personally attacked the Honorable Home Minister and hurled personal abuses on him. So let us not even get into that.
That Honorable Home Minister is a BJP leader as
Tausif
well.
keeps on doing this, he's eating into my time. Okay. Every time he's doing this.
Tausif, please, wait.
Now, the other point here is because Mamata Banerjee is a compulsive liar. She has completely ignored the fact that she has allowed Bengalis to...
Tausif, I'll have to mute you if you keep interrupting the other guest. Your objection noted. Your objection noted.
She has allowed... She has turned a blind eye to industry, so therefore you have still migrant laborers outside Bengal.
No, forget that. That's an issue that many states have. I'm not going into the developmental politics, but Shatrika, answer my question.
I'm telling
you cannot target Bengali speaking or people who say they hail from Bengal just on the suspicion that they could be Bangladeshis.
I agree with you 100%, but you have to understand this perception also, that why nobody can be targeted. But you will also remember almost every single incident of a bombarding or a terrorizing unfortunately gets linked to these people who have come across the border. You remember a Karnataka cafe got bombed, there was a Bengal link. You remember something else happened somewhere in Punjab, there was a Bengal link. Of course, in Bengal, whatever happens, there is a Bengal link across the border. Shivani, every time you are allowing to talk over me.
That's not like this. I think she's saying that Bengali, she's not talking about Bengali, she's talking about the illegal migration from across the border.
That is our target.
She's talking about across the border, but can I just comment on this? Can I?
Every Rohingya, every Muslim who has come across the border has come here to
I have a very big objection, Shivani.
Terrorism activities in India.
Okay, let Tausif respond to this. 30 seconds. Chaturapa, 1 second. Let Tausif respond to this. Yes.
Shivani, see, I totally respect you as an anchor. But यहाँ पर बैठ के किसी बंगाली को terrorist कहा जा रहा है. You can say a Bangladeshi can be a terrorist, a Pakistani can be a terrorist, a Rohingya can be a terrorist.
That's what she said.
Targeting a Bengali as a terrorist?
Muslims who come across the border Do you not fear?
আমি তো এটা কি বলছেন আপনি শত্রুপতি?
Please don't talk in your ridiculous Bengali.
তুমি একটা বাঙালি, তুমি একটা বাঙালিকে টেররিস্ট বলছো
my language.
No, let's not do this. Tausif, we can do this in a better way. Let's discuss this as far as the seriousness of the issue is concerned. She didn't call Bengalis terrorists. She talked about cross-border migration. And she is, of course, saying what she's saying. That is on her. She is saying Bengali Muslims who have crossed the border from Bangladesh are suspected terrorists. That's what she's saying.
Again Muslims and again Bengalis.
That is for her to defend. But she's not talking about Bengalis. But can I just come in? Can I just come in? Tausif, one second. Okay, you can have a problem with this. Fair enough. But can I just come in, please? A quick comment. Not Muslims of Bengal. She's talking about illegal Muslim immigrants from Bangladesh.
Yes.
And that is a reality. Nobody is going to pussyfoot around this issue. There is a large-scale Muslim illegal migration taking place from Bangladesh via Nepal and sometimes into other states as well. Experts have talked about it. They've talked about it that they don't just settle in West Bengal. They are found in other states as well in India. Some of them have been found as far away as in Jammu. And questions will be asked. But I want to come to the issue. Want to come to the issue of the elector-voter list. One second. Tausif, one second. You are saying we don't have a problem with illegals being weeded out, right? I understand that correctly? You don't have any soft spot for Bangladeshis who may want to stay and live in Bengal. But I can't understand an SIR exercise is going on in Bihar. But Mamata Banerjee is already objecting to it in prospective in Bengal.
No, what is the procedure of SIR? To bring the birth certificate, if you show your father's birth certificate, again you want the birth certificate of your grandfather. So what is the authenticity of the SIR? You have to understand, Shivani.
This is an outlier.
Let him finish.
I am a liar. I am sitting, I am talking nonsense. So why do you call me Shivani?
No, go ahead. Please finish your point. But she objected to the Bihar exercise, and most political parties allied in the India bloc.
Biharis are Indians as well.
No, one second.
Biharis are Indians as
one second, listen to me. She objected to it, and India bloc parties are objecting to it on the basis of timing. They're saying 3 months is not enough. Why are you objecting to it already in Bengal?
No, but I want to know the procedure, Shivani. The only thing is that if something is coming from the government, if there is new law and rule coming from the election commission, it has to be authenticated, it has to make sense. You cannot just say Aadhaar card aaj se nahi chalega. Then why the hell you brought Aadhaar card to us? Then why the hell you were asking?
It wasn't meant to be proof of citizenship. We've debated all of that. It wasn't meant to be proof of citizenship.
Passport is not valid. Tomorrow you will say that Tausif Rahman's father's birth certificate is not getting. How come passport will not be valid?
Passport is valid.
Will not be valid. No, this is what I'm saying. You can say tomorrow that passport is not valid.
But passport is one of the biggest proofs of citizenship. Aadhaar isn't. No, you can't compare the two.
But there's a new statement, an article I just read day before yesterday, and I'll share it with you on X channel, that no more passport without the birth certificate of the given father's name will be approved as a citizen of India.
The passports won't be issued. That doesn't mean if you have one, it's not approved. But anyways, I've run out of time. 20 seconds to Shatarupa. Why the objection do you think is happening already to an exercise that could happen in Bengal?
No, this is the problem with our Honorable Chief Minister. Mamata Banerjee creates a panic before even there is a situation to panic about. You remember her reaction about the CAA. She went around on some rhythmic kaka chichi without even realizing what was happening. Had she implemented CAB by now, CAA by now, then we would not have had issues like Murshidabad. We would not have had issues like what is happening about people trying to push back so-called Bengali-speaking people who are actually probably coming across the border. That is the apprehension all over India. People
it's also about how a political party is being viewed, and I think all political parties in this debate will have to do a think about whether they're appearing as anti-something or pro-something. I leave it at that. I do thank both of our guests for joining us. Speaking of Bengal, since the ouster of Sheikh Hasina and Mohammad Yunus-led administration coming to power in Bangladesh, relationship with the country have been tense. Indian government and people both have been left aghast with certain developments. Latest in that is the demolition of noted filmmaker Satyajit Ray's ancestral home on the pretext of disrepair. The century-old house located on Hari Kishore Ray Chaudhary Road in Maimansingh has been abandoned for about 10 years and is brought down to make way for a new semi-concrete structure. But given that this is the second such prominent Bengali icon's house that has been attacked, concerns are rising over willful erasure of shared and common Bengali history in Bangladesh under the influence of radical and fundamentalist Islamic and anti-India sentiments. With Ray's ancestral home being demolished, is there an attempt to erase Bangla history or the bond between India and Bangladesh? A special guest is joining us. Babita Sharma is a filmmaker and managing partner of Anuradha Cineplex. She's joining us. She's also a former chairperson of Assam State Fin and Dev Corporation. You must have seen what has happened. I've seen your reaction on social media profile X as well. You've condemned the demolition of Satyajit Ray's ancestral home. There have been a lot of very strong reactions, and people are wondering whether this is because there's been a recent surge in anti-India sentiment, wanting to erase this shared Bangla history. Do you think that is the case?
Well, the developments that we have been observing in Bangladesh is very worrisome for everybody, And regarding Satyajit Ray, he is not only a pride of India and an asset for India, but the whole of world cinema. And Bangladesh is also part of that whole cultural, bonding that we had been having with them for a long time. And it is very, very worrying that before they went on to take the decision about demolition, they should have at least contacted the embassy there of the Indian embassy or whatever, the government of India, and they could have sorted out the matter before deciding to demolish such a historical place. And we have also seen recently how I saw in the newspaper, I don't know how far it's true, that they have even demolished Mujibur Rahman's statues and anything associated with the 1971 liberation movement. And I remember that I have myself been there as a filmmaker, to the Dhaka International Film Festival, and we had wonderful relations. From Assam, we have taken delegation there and participated in festivals. And it's very, very sad and unfortunate that we have to see this kind of a situation in our lifetime.
Do you think this is happening because there's been a recent rise of fundamentalist, radicalist, Islamist sentiments in Bangladesh? Is that to blame for this?
Definitely it's to be blamed. But I am surprised that, Mr. Yunus he didn't have that kind of a persona before. When we talked about microfinance and his association with the US and other things, he didn't seem to be such a fundamentalist. So we are worried that how come he suddenly became such a persona, and how he is not doing anything to protect whatever Bangladesh stood for as a secular country.
Yeah. That's also because recently Hindu temples have come under attack and Hindu population has also come under attack. But what would your hope be? Do you expect that things will change possibly if elections are held in Bangladesh and a proper government comes to power? Is there any expectations with the Indian government instead?
I was expecting the Indian government to be more, active in keeping the secular credentials of Bangladesh alive, because we had participated in the liberation of Bangladesh, and Bangladesh owes a great deal to the Indian, nation. That they are free today they have a nation today because of India. So they owe everything to us, their whole existence. And today it seems as if, some outside forces are forcing them to deny what we had, which was legitimately granted to us as well, because we had a bond as a brotherly bond with Bangladesh, and they were our supporters. But now, because of these fundamentalist forces rising up, we seem to be cornered in some way or the other. I hope the government takes a more proactive step towards this, and the Bangladesh government should also realize that these kind of activities in their soil, which will not be a good thing to maintain good relations with India at all.
Yes.
I hope good sense prevails,
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much, Babita Sharma, for joining us. I think you have very succinctly put all of the apprehensions that Indians and particularly Bengalis have over what is happening in Bangladesh today. Time for a very short break. The Right Stand is coming up with Anand Narasimhan on the other side. Thanks a lot for watching.
Brought to you by This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
All right, starting this bulletin with the breaking news. NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte has warned Brazil, China and India, saying they could face heavy sanctions if they keep doing business with Russia. Rutte's remarks offered clarity about the potential outcome after President Donald Trump announced that he was giving Putin 50 days to enter into a peace talks with Ukraine or face what he called secondary tariffs of 100% as well as secondary sanctions. Mark Rutte urges leaders to call Putin and push for serious peace talks.
First of all, that the US will now supply massively Ukraine with weapons out of the US, not just air defense, also missiles, also ammunition paid for by the Europeans. And secondly, that President Trump said, basically, if Russia is not serious about peace talks, within 50 days, he will slam secondary sanctions on countries like India, China and Brazil. So my encouragement to these three countries particularly is, if you live now in Beijing or in Delhi, or you are the president of Brazil, you might want to take a look into this, because this might hit you very hard. So please make the phone call to Vladimir Putin.
Well, my colleague Akanksha is with us on the phone line. Akanksha, there is a stern warning coming from NATO General Secretary, where he says that India, Japan and China should stop buying or trading with Russia. Now, can we see this being reflected into a trade deal between India and US?
Arun, important to highlight that this is particularly a warning being given to BRICS members, which is Brazil, Russia, India and China. And as we all know, it comes a day after Donald Trump threatened Russia to make a deal on Ukraine in the next 50 days. Otherwise, Russia would be slapped with 100% tariffs, to which the NATO chief, Mark Rutte, has, of course, gone on to also highlight that India and China and Brazil could also be roped in with secondary sanctions or secondary tariffs of 100%. And if there is any trade with Russia in terms of Russian exports, we know that India happens to be one of the largest buyers of Russian energy and oil. And so India could very well stand a threat of being slapped with these additional sanctions. So you can clearly see this divide between, say, the US plus NATO versus Putin and the other BRICS members, particularly Brazil, China and India. As we all know, there was a unified stance in condemning the US president, not just for his airstrikes on Iran, but also for primarily raising the tariffs and shaking up the entire global economy. And so what Mark Rutte is saying is only echoing Donald Trump's stance. As we all know, there's a growing consensus within Republican senators in the United States who are praising Donald Trump for announcing the steps of a 50-day peace plan for Russia. And many have also voiced concerns that this could change the negotiating tactics for the Russian President Vladimir Putin. They're saying that the next 50 days is perhaps a little too much for the Russian president, and that he could change things on the ground level. It could also give him time to prepare. So 50 days is not going to be enough. Nonetheless, the bigger threat that is now coming out of this is for India, China and Brazil. What we also know is that China's foreign ministry has firmly
Namaste, Jai Hind and welcome to this edition of The Right Stand. I am Anand Narasimhan. Now, amid the ongoing language debate, Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister and Chandrababu Naidu garu said former Prime Minister P.V. Narasimha Rao knew 17 languages, including Hindi. While delivering a lecture on the life and legacy of former Prime Minister Shri P.V. Narasimha Rao, Chandrababu Naidu remembered him as a great statesman and visionary the Telugu community is proud of. Now he further added, and I quote, "Now we are all talking, why should you learn Hindi?" Not only he learned Hindi, he has learned 17 languages. That is how Rao has become a great man. Listen in.
A scholar fluent in 17 languages. Now we are all talking, why should you learn Hindi? Not only he learned Hindi, he has learned 17 languages. That is how he has become a great man.
Meanwhile, Maharashtra Congress leader has said that the BJP is playing divide and rule over Hindi imposition. While NDA ally, the JDU has asked the opposition if Congress and RJDU bashing of Biharis.
किसी मुस्लिम के स्कूल में अगर मदरसा में अगर उर्दू पढ़ाया जा रहा है तो ये आज का नहीं है, ये तो कई साल से है। और इस तरह का भाषा पे अगर बीजेपी भेदभाव कर चुनाव को मुद्दे नजर रखकर इस तरह का माहौल बनाएंगे तो अब कोई हजम नहीं करेंगे,
कांग्रेस पार्टी एंड इट्स अलाइड दे हैव बिकम ए नेगेटिव पॉलिटिक्स narrative carrier party. They are opposed to each and every step of the government.
Now, there is a reason why there are many who believe Hindi should be Bharat's Rashtra Bhasha or the link language, not that any other bhasha is inferior or less important. Now, because have a look at these numbers. According to Census 2011, 52.8 crore people in the country speak Hindi as their first language. 9.7 crore speak Bengali as their first language, while 8.3 crore people speak Marathi, 8.1 crore speak Telugu, 6.9 crore speak in Tamil, and 4.4 crore converse in Kannada. Only 2.6 lakh across the country consider English even as their first language. Now, those numbers would have only increased in the last 10-12 years. Now, Andhra Pradesh Deputy Chief Minister Pawan Kalyan urged people to overcome their apprehensions and embrace Hindi language, calling it a unifying force across states. Now, this is the larger question, viewers. Who was imposing Hindi? Was anybody or has anybody tried to impose Hindi in the current? Back in the 70s, there was an attempt at Hindi imposition. But the current rules don't even look at Hindi as the first language. They are only saying use Hindi after the local language. Don't make English and the local language. Make it local language, Hindi and English. So 3 languages, that's the formula. So is this not going to integrate us more together as a nation? That's another question. Is this cheap politics by the opposition leaders? And does it smack of appeasement when they highlight Hindi but do not talk about Urdu, as Nitish Rane said? When they only focus on certain regions and communities, whereas totally keep quiet about the others? These are all questions. A larger question is it really about bhasha or the bhava or the attitude with which you are approaching this entire subject, or one is approaching this? Dr. Vinusha Reddy, leader BJP Andhra Pradesh with us, Varun Kumar, leader of the TDP with us, S. Mohammad Harish Ibrahim, political analyst who supports the DMK and the India Alliance is with us, and Syed Asad Abbas, political analyst with us. My namaste and Jai Hind to everybody. Thank you very much for your time. Dr. Vinisha, why is the BJP hell-bent on pushing Hindi everywhere? Is this some agenda as dictated by the Sangh, the RSS? That's the question or allegation that the opposition continues to make.
Anand Garu, namaste. You asked me a question about why BJP is imposing. I want to ask you the counter question. Who brought through Article 343 the position that Hindi in Devanagari script should be the official language of Union of India and English will be continued for only 15 years? It's the Nehru-led Congress government. In 1965, when the government was trying to remove the rule of English being the official languages, which led to anti-Hindi protests in Tamil Nadu, who was at the helm of affairs in the center? It was again the Congress. Who established Central Hindi directorate and try to impose Hindi in all central government offices. Again, it is Congress. And the main issue today, who brought the rule of 3-language policy in central NCERT syllabus in 1960s? It's Indira Gandhi-led Congress government, and they made it mandatory Hindi, English, and then a regional language. Now, we will just come to the situation now. The previous education policy was very rigid. It was first language Hindi, English, and then a regional languages. Now we will see, Anandji, which government made it flexible. Now, if you read national education policy, there is 3-language policy, but it is very, very flexible. English plus any of the 2 recognized scheduled languages. If you are from Tamil Nadu, you can choose English plus Tamil or Telugu. I am from Andhra Pradesh. My kids can choose English, Telugu, and any other language. It can be Hindi, or it can be Kannada, or it can be Marathi. So who have made it flexible? It's the Narendra Modi ji government-led BJP government. And one more thing, previously all the examinations were being conducted, the central government examinations, UPSC examinations were conducted in Hindi or English only. But right now, you know, the NEET is being conducted in 13 languages. That is the success of the Modi ji government. And all the UPSC examinations are available in regional languages. Who made that? And the last important point, Anand ji, more than 2,500 textbooks have been, I am talking about professional textbooks, BTech and MBBS textbooks have been translated into regional languages. Under whose regime? Under Narendra Modi ji's regime. And most of the people, I don't know, they knowingly speak or deliberately speak. Now, BTech courses are available in languages like Marathi, Odia, Telugu, Tamil, Bengali, Marathi. And MBBS is available in Bengali and Marathi under Narendra Modi ji government. Now, you just compare. It was a very rigid policy under the previous Congress regime, the 3-language policy. Now, you have a choice. Hindi is nowhere imposed. So, please, I want to contradict your point that it is the Narendra Modi ji led BJP government which is promoting regional languages right from UKG, LKG to undergraduation courses, and all this is a sham and a hypocrisy and a conspiracy. I want to say that this is a conspiracy to destabilize India by the so-called opposition leaders. And I also want to go further and ask one question, Anandji. Jitri Abaji utna hak. The people in the opposition say that. And now I want to question DMK people or the Shiv Sena people who are in alliance with the Congress party. What were they doing? When the Congress was imposing the rigid national education NCERT policy all these years, they are now cozying up with them. Now I want to ask them, you just told me the data that 43% people have Hindi as their first language. But see, my first language is Telugu. I mean, but I can still communicate in Hindi. If you take such people, more than 60% of the people in India can communicate in Hindi. These people are ready to accept non-native language like English or Urdu. They don't have any problem. They don't feel that their culture is being degraded or their language is being degraded. But when someone like Pawan Kalyan Garu or Chandrababu Naidu Garu says that Hindi can be learned or Hindi should be learned to unify the people across India, because more than 60% people are speaking, why are they creating such a chaos? They want, only 10% people can understand English. Why don't they consider 60% people who are speaking Hindi? And the last point I want to finish, Anandji. Most of the people, like drivers, or I'm a doctor, the patients, they won't understand English. When you go to many states, Assam, Punjab, Kashmir, if you know Hindi, it's easy for you. I was there in Karnataka. I learned Kannada. But people in Assam, or I told non-Hindi speaking states, you can communicate to them, whether it is hotels or tourism purpose. So, if people learn Hindi, it's for the unification of the nation and also for promoting their business also.
Right.
So, let those people answer these questions very specifically.
Okay, you've made a very strong, very potent opening disposition on the reason for why Hindi should be embraced across the country as a link language, not necessarily the first language or the only language, and that the current disposition under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi has promoted regional languages far more than ever in the last 60 years before the BJP came to power under PM's leadership. So, Mohammad Harish Ibrahim, where is this entire issue? Why is it that the south of the Vindhyas states, the Dravidian states, largely get into this entire Hindi imposition game, 2-language, 3-language game? And why is it that English, language of the colonialists, is okay, but Hindi, which is spoken here in Bharat, is a problem?
Of course, because you run an English channel, because the DMK fought anti-Hindi impositions way back into 1930s and 1960s. And that is the reason. Otherwise, only the Hindi will be the national language, which is which has not happened because of the anti-Hindi imposition, which is followed by the DMK movement. And number two, why it has not been opposed in Tamil Nadu is because we are not against any kind of language imposition, whether be it Urdu or whether be it Hindi or whether any kind of language shouldn't be imposed in our people. That is the reason when the Official Languages Act was enacted, the entire two-language policy has been specifically given only to the Tamil Nadu state. And because of that, what we have earned with that, only the mother language, Tamil as a number one language, and the number two language as an English as the communication language, as an additional language, what we have earned is because of that, we are the GSDP number 2 state across India. We are the GER number 1 nation across the nation, and we are lowest in the female immortality rate. We are the highest in all kind of industries across India. We have produced the results with a two-language policy. And if you want to learn the third language, the people of Tamil Nadu, the students of Tamil Nadu are entitled to go for that without being imposed. Where, madam, before the BJP spokesperson have stated so much of facts which has been corroborated of events which looks like it is true, but it is not. For instance, if you take Tamil Nadu, the Kendriya Vidyalaya schools are out of 53 Kendriya Vidyalaya schools which has been run by the central government. But in own official language of Tamil, there is not even a single teacher in 53 Kendriya Vidyalaya schools. There is only the first language is Hindi, and the second language is Sanskrit, and the third language is all the international languages. But for all these 53 languages, you have almost 28 to 30 Hindi teachers in all these schools, and then come the Sanskrit teachers. So where does the Tamil, the regional languages come into play? Even the Kendriya Vidyalaya schools, you are not able to do that. And number 4, if you are going to go ahead and impose any kind of third language, or you want the people of entire India to learn an additional language, let it be Tamil or let it be the other 22 classical languages which has been defined by in our constitution under the 8th schedule. If you want to go ahead with that, Article 343 till 351 has enacted to make sure each and every state official language which has been defined as a classical language has all the privileges like Hindi. So if you want to go ahead with that fact, one second, Anand, let me complete. If you go ahead with that fact, out of the 28 states, out of 9 officially Hindi-speaking states, if you take the other 15 states, all the other 15 states has been given an option of learning first as Hindi as a first language and second as Sanskrit. Because of this, all the other non-Hindi speakings like Assami, all the other Marathi and all the Bhojpuri, so many of mother language has been destroyed by the infusion of Hindi because you are not even giving an additional option to learn the other language except Hindi and Sanskrit other than their mother language. So you have to make sure all the international language teachers are put inside the Kendriya Vidyalaya schools or in all the schools which has been run by the state government or the central government for that matter. If you put the same kind
there's
of
a difference
play,
there.
Exactly.
Now, here is the thing. If there was a notification, let me ask you this. I'm just asking you this, Mohammad Harish Ibrahim. If there is a notification that says that in your schools you teach English, you teach Tamil, actually teach Tamil, teach English, and the third language you choose, you have to use a third language which is spoken in that area, in that vicinity, which is the language which is spoken. And the choice is that if there are a minimum of 20 students who are there who want to learn that language, you can choose that. So you can choose that. So is that a fair notification? There is no mention that it has to be Hindi.
Of course, Anand.